In this edition of reShape 333, I want you to consider both personally and perhaps even as a leadership team, the reality that in most churches, the Sunday morning offering has essentially gone the way of the dodo bird, extinct. And I want you to consider, in doing that, what have we lost? If anything, what have we lost? And are there lessons from the passing of the plate that we need to recover once again, even if the offering plate's never passed again? It's an important question, I think. Give me 333 seconds. Let's get at it. Now, don't hear what I'm not saying. It was over 20 years ago that I started giving my weekly offering to my church by means of automatic withdrawal from my bank account. It happened every Friday, automatically. I haven't given a $20 bill or a $5 bill, put it in the offering plate for over 25 years. So I'm not resistant to change, and I'm not resistant to embracing new methods. I'm not resistant to understanding where culture moves and adjusting to younger generations and their patterns and habits. We must. You see, if COVID changed something in our churches, it forced us to consider lots of new things. It forced us to reconsider how we gather. It forced us to reconsider how we worship, how we do business. And with that, it forced us to consider new methods of giving and new methods of stewardship. E-transfers became popular. Text to give became more rooted as an option. Web applications for giving grew. All kinds of new giving apps were created and developed. And churches, many churches, embraced many of those. From my vantage point, some churches had removed the offering plate from their service pre-COVID, but certainly post-COVID, very few have brought it back. And even when we started regathering post-pandemic, many folks were uncomfortable passing a possibly virus-contaminated offering plate. So the offering plate, the offering box, was placed at the entrance door. I get all of that. In fact, the gift of the pandemic for many of us was that it forced many new experiments that are proving helpful to church. And in terms of stewardship, people were able to begin to give in new ways that they might not have otherwise tried. My only question is this: have we lost something during a worship gathering when a moment is no longer taken to recognize God's ownership of everything? To remind ourselves that all that we have is His. If we lost something when we don't take a moment to reflect on His blessing and to be challenged, to be generous and sacrificial, to consider what God-honoring, faithful giving and stewardship looks like. Have we lost a powerful symbol in the offering plate? Does it matter now that our children never see us present our gifts to God? Does it matter now that mom or dad don't hand their child a loonie so that they can give as well? Have we lost an essential part of the worship experience when we no longer take a moment to return to God, to present to God an offering of love and thanksgiving, even obedience to Him? Whether I've given through automatic withdrawal on Friday, or e-transfer before the service starts, or text to give during the first worship set, or perhaps I've just written a dusty old check and placed it in the box at the entrance. But have we lost something when we don't take an intentional moment to remind ourselves that part of our worship is to return to God a portion of His unimaginable and undeserved blessing on us? And more than that, to see it as an opportunity, a teaching moment on the importance of faithful stewardship and generosity. Have we lost something? And would it be wise to take some time to reflect on that? My plea is this: how can we make sure that part of our worship experience includes a moment of modeling generosity and celebrating returning to God all that is His in an act of love and obedience? Is that important to your church, that is modeled? And if so, what creative ways can that value be highlighted during the times that you gather? That's worth some energetic conversation, I would suggest. So have some fun talking about it. And don't click away. There's going to be a question that comes up on the screen that will start to prompt your conversation. And if you would, I'd love to hear your comments and subscribe to the channel if it's helpful.